Kasi makakatulong ito, depende po sa pinagsilbi ng barangay official. Nagkaroon siya ng civil service eligibility, baka magamit niya rin po ito, Madam.
Yes, Chair, regarding po the civil service eligibility, as early as 2012, the CSC promulgated CSC Resolution 12 00865 and circularized through CSCMC number 13 series of 2012, where the CSC grants barangay official eligibilities based on strictly on completion of term of office to elective barangay officials such as the punong barangay, the regular sangguniang barangay members, and sangguniang kabataan chairman, as well as the appointee barangay officials, the barangay treasurers and barangay secretaries, who are all appointed by the duly elected punong barangay. So this barangay official eligibility is considered appropriate for appointment to first level positions in the career service, except for those positions covered by board laws and or those that require other special eligibilities as determined by the commission, or those that require licenses, such as those positions listed under category 4 of CSCMC 11 series of 1996 as amended. So Chair, Your Honor, the CSC has been granting BOE to qualified barangay officials as early as 2012. We can provide po the data.
So Mr. Chair, ilan na po yung nabigyan ng eligibility since the issuance of that civil service order?
Unfortunately po, wala po akong dalang data. We can provide po the committee on the data po.
Thank you, thank you.
Director Villaseñor, matagal ka na dyan sa posisyon mo sa National Barangay Operations Office?
Mr. Chair, I started in 2019 po.
2019.
Yes, sir.
So hindi mo na-monitor, pinag-uusapan natin kanina na 30 years na hindi nagbabayad ang national government sa BOIF?
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, sir, we started providing for barangay officials death benefit assistance in 2002 when the GSIS stopped covering the insurance of barangay officials. Since 2002 po, we have the statistics here, the number of barangay officials disaggregated to punong barangay, treasurer, etc. Until to date po, we have covered about 1,692 for the current year death benefits. And 3 years ago, we started to automate our system to improve our turnaround time. So there's no need to send the documents already to central office for processing, but at the municipal level, they will just scan it by our LGOOs, the DILG local government officials, and submit it dun po sa automated system so that we can hasten the provision of the death and burial benefits to our barangay officials.
You started doing that only when GSI stopped doing it.
2000, there was an executive order, number 115, Your Honors. That's the basis for the provision of the barangay officials death benefit assistance. We started
in time when the GSI stopped providing this benefit. So kayo nang gumawa, tama ba 'yun?
Yes po, but yes po. We started in 2002.
So does that exonerate the GSIS from that responsibility? Kasi mukhang sila yata ay nagbabayad bago kayo, di ba?
Yes po, because
nag-usap ba kayo paano nangyari? Ba't kami nang nagbabayad ngayon, kayo hindi na kayo nagbabayad?
The budget coverage for the benefit, Your Honor, is included annually in the General Appropriations Act. And the current amount is 50 million per year to cover for that.
Okay.
We submit this to the DBM, Your Honor, so that they can release the funding. Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Malinaw dito sa ating hearing na lahat yung mga, almost all, mga barangay officials natin are underpaid and overworked. Will you agree, Madam Jessica? Okay. Maraming benefits na nakasaad sa kasalukuyan natin mga batas ay hindi na ibibigay at hindi napapakinabangan ng mga barangay officials katulad ng insurance. Correct? Medyo tulungan yan naman itong ating committee upang mabigyan natin ng sapat na benepisyo at pagkakilala at bigyan naman natin ng dignidad itong ating mga barangay officials. Dahil ito yung mga nasa front line eh. Alam ko yun, siyempre, si Senator Marcoleta wala kang experience sa local government pero alam niya. Ako pa kaya na may experience.
Ang dami mag-experience kasi, Mr. Chair. Alam mo, Mr. Chair, overwork, underpaid. But, alam mo, ano ito parang ano pa ito Kung pag-uusapan kasi natin, sabi nga, 24/7 ang kanilang gawain Pagkatapos, ang sinasahod nila ay kakarampot lang. Paano natin po magiging reasonable? Kasi, Mr. Chair, alam mo naman ito, sa private companies, kapag po kayo ay nakapagtrabaho na ng 6 months, mandatory na po kayong nare-regular na po, di ba? Ang mga barangay officials po, 24/7. Nakatapos na po ng ilang termino. Hindi ko nga malaman, Mr. Chair, kahit nakakarampot ang kanilang sweldo, pinipilit pa nilang, gusto pa nga nila, kung ako lang ang tatanungin nyo, siguro for life na kayo mga kapitan. Kaya lang, ang daming problema, for life din ba yung problema nyo? Bakit po hindi kayo nare-regular samantalang sa private sector, 6 months lang, regularization na po ang kondisyon ng inyong employment? Bakit po yung barangay, 24/7, 3 termino na po siya, bakit hindi siya ma-regular? Kasi kung regular po kayo, kahit na minimum wage lang siguro, ilalaban na natin, Mr. Chair. Kano ba yung average na minimum wage ngayon, Mr. DILG?
Dito sa Metro Manila, I think it's around 700 plus, no?
Mga 800 plus na yan. So nationwide, Mr. DILG, ano yung average na minimum wage?
Kasambahay po, almost the same.
Hindi, minimum wage ng mga workers natin. In the private sector. Minimum wage.
About 600 per day, Your Honor.
600 per day. Multiply mo sa 30 days.
Or 22, sir, excluding yung number of about 13,000 to 14,000.
So at least sa 13,000, maligaya lahat ang barangay. Hindi 5,000, hindi 3,000 pesos. Doon natin gustong ilagay sana ang kalagayan ng mga barangay officials natin para maging may konting disente naman ang kanilang pamumuhay. Sir Chair, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Madam Jessica.
Mr. Chair, regarding dun sa tinanong nyo kanina, ano ba yung estado ng mga barangay officials? Actually, parang displaced nga po yung mga barangay officials because they're not regular government employees kasi wala naman po silang salary kasi honorarium ang natatanggap nila and yet they work far more than the regular hours of government employees. Tapos, hindi natin alam kung government employees nga ba sila or volunteer. Kasi parang volunteer
Kasi,
ang
ma'am,
kanilang natatanggap.
Under your local government code, volunteerism kasi ang inyong pagtatrabaho sa barangay. Kaya kung volunteer kayo, hindi sweldo, honorarium nga
Yes.
Ito yung dilema. Pero ayusin na po natin yung dilema. Pare-pareho lang po tayong kumakain kasi may pamilya tayo. Kaya ilagay natin sa tama na. May pagka-voluntaryo pero hindi ibig sabihin ay kinakailangang maging malayo naman ang tinatanggap sa karaniwang manggagawa. Yun lang po ang principle behind that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Marcoleta. of the committee during the 19th Congress, DBM estimated the funding requirements for proposed fixed salaries of barangay officials and personnel at 330.13 billion. Yung estimate was made in 2019. Does the DBM have a more recent estimate on the expected budgetary impact of this measure?
At the moment, Mr. Chair, wala pa po kasi we also note kung ano po ba yung magiging structure ng barangay. Kasi at the moment po kasi sa ating iOS, konti pa lang po yung fix na barangay officials. So kung madadagdagan po siya, magde-depend po yung ating estimates on that.
Basta mag-submit na lang kayo ng inyong position paper with regard to this ha.
Noted po, Mr. Chair. Thank you po.
Okay. GSIS?
Good morning, Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
And on behalf of our PGM, we thank you for inviting GSIS to share our thoughts on the pending bills. Actually, the GSIS has been attending deliberations of the barangay bills since the 18th Congress. And as far as I'll just concentrate on the aspect of compensation, retirement benefits, and funding. Before the rationale of this Magna Carta bills for barangay bills is in order to give barangay officials coverage sa GSIS and retirement benefits. Now, we have been emphasizing even before that the only way, the quickest way of having retirement benefits or these barangay officials covered by GSIS is to change the form of compensation to one of fixed salary and compensation instead of a honorarium basis, because under GSIS law, if you're paid honoraria based on honorarium basis, you are not covered by GSIS. However, if you now become a fixed salary officers, you will be covered by GSIS. So I'm glad. I haven't read the whole bill, but browsing some of it, including the one by the Honorable Chair, it grants a salary, a fixed salary, and SG, or I think equivalent of the Sanggunian, and that's good enough. That will be the basis for the barangay officials to be covered by GSIS if ever they wish, no. Because unlike before, honoraria, which is iba't ibang amount, as stated earlier, this time it has a fixed SG, whether SG basis or based on other local government officials. So that's one thing that will surely resolve the issue on coverage on GSIS retirement benefits. Secondly, I saw some bills granting retirement benefits on a special law, parang special law basis. That could be done, but to avoid any issue about transition on budgetary requirements, since they are not contributing members before, it is best that the budgetary requirements will come from the GAA. And I'm glad that most of the bills provides for budgetary requirements from the GAA. So again, that will resolve a lot of issues about non-contributing members before. Finally, I saw one bill, granting retirement benefits to barangay officials after serving 3 consecutive terms or 9 years. That could be done. Again, ang gagawin dyan is they will be covered under special law, just like the prosecutors, and then the budgetary requirements, again, will come from the GAA. So, in fine, if the budgetary requirements will come from GAA as proposed by DILG, then that will be fine for GSIS, no? And so far as retirement benefits is concerned. But ang pinakamaganda dito, I hope Congress will pass, kasi I saw some bills kasi granting honoraria. I hope it will be reconciled such that it will be a fixed salary compensation basis instead of honoraria. We do away with honoraria, then grant the compensation, fixed salary compensation to all barangay officials. That will be the best way siguro. So we will submit our official position paper, Your Honor.
All right. Under Section 522 of the Local Government Code, the GSIS is mandated to establish and administer an appropriate system under which the punong barangay, members of the Sangguniang Barangay, the secretary, treasurer, and tanod shall enjoy insurance coverage. May we get the updates from the GSIS about this, attorney?
Thank you, Your Honor. I was supposed to mention that. Actually, I think that that's the BOIF, or the Barangay Official Insurance Fund. Unfortunately, Your Honor, I hope the DBM can also shed light on this, because since 1995, it has remained unfunded. In fact, it has already eaten up some of the budget ng GSIS. Hindi na yan na-funded from the GAA. Kaya hindi na rin.
So magkano na shell out nyo rito?
I'll update the figure, but as of 2022, I think it's 1 billion na yata. 1 billion the unfunded portion, and GSIS shell out a substantial amount of it.
Magkano yung substantial amount?
Let me check. As of November 30, 2022, the total premium receivables from DBM amounted to 1,221,000, including interest of about 800 plus million.
Kasi
I think,
yung position paper ng GSIS noong December 3 years ago, ang sinabi nyo, the national government has been delinquent in remitting the required premium contributions to the Barangay Officials Insurance Fund since 1995.
Yes,
Ano ba katagal?
yes, based on our records, Your Honor.
And that the national government has not settled the unpaid premium contributions despite due notice given by the GSIS. Totoo ba yun, ano? Sino makakasagot ito, TBM? And as of November 30 of 2022, total premium receivables from DBM amount to at least 1.2 billion pesos. Bakit hindi nyo binabayaran ng GSIS?
Good morning again, Mr. Chair. I will check po with our operations group. I think we are aware of that issue. I-double check ko lang po yung latest status on our end.
Since 1995, so that's 30 years ago. 30 years na kayo hindi nagbabayad. Ganun ba?
I think we have coordination po with GSIS, but we will update po the committee on the latest status, Mr. Chair.
And the GSIS suspended payment of claims for benefits in November 2001 due to the fact that the Barangay Officials Insurance Fund no longer has the funds to pay out the claims and benefits to the concerned barangay officials. Tama ba? Is my information correct? GSIS, is my information correct?
Mr. Chair, we'll discuss this with BDM, because to be fair, I think most of us here are still, I'm still a first year law student during 1995. So it might have, yun, baka talagang 1995 hindi na tumitigil ang pagbayad nito, even the funding from GAA. But I'm not sure if Congress has appropriated a separate funding na hindi dumadaan sa GSIS. That I think DBM can enlighten on us. Because in several hearings before sa House of Representatives, parang they mention about, I think Congress has also appropriated certain amount, not to the BOIF, but directly yata to barangay, I don't know, DILG.
Bakit hindi ini-earmark para sa BOIF yan? Kung talagang meron talagang pondo. Imagine 30 years since 1995, mayor pa ako nun. Pinababayaan natin yung mga barangay officials, hindi natin nabibigyan ng sapat na pondo. Insurance coverage, wala. Samantalang nasa batas to. Were you remiss in your duty? DBM? Bakit hindi nyo binabayaran?
Mr. Chair, siguro isa-isahin na natin. Total, naungkat na rin yan. Ito po bang Christmas bonus in the form of cash gift at the rate authorized by law, which covers punong barangay, sangguniang barangay members, barangay treasurer, and barangay secretary, natutupad po ba ito? Kasi nasa website po ng DBM ito, na-research lang namin. Meron din palang insurance coverage kahit papano ang barangay. Ito pong Republic Act 6942, punong barangay, sangguniang barangay members, barangay treasurer, barangay secretary, barangay tanods not exceeding 20 in each barangay. Dapat po meron silang insurance coverage in the form of death and burial benefits, total and permanent incapacity or disability, 5,000 to 12,000 pesos. Injuries resulting from accidents, 500 to 10,000 pesos. Lahat po ba to ay natutugunan, Mr. Chair?
Maybe the DILG can answer that question.
Meron pa po, medical care consisting of pre-hospitalization in government hospitals for the punong barangay, sangguniang barangay members, barangay treasurer, and barangay secretary. And in extreme emergency, the same officials may be confined in private hospitals with expenses chargeable against barangay funds at not more than 5,000 pesos per official. Free tuition and matriculation fees in government schools in their area for punong barangay, sangguniang barangay members, barangay treasurer, and barangay secretary, including 2 of their legitimate dependent children during their term of office. Conferment of civil service eligibility based on the number of years of service in barangay for punong barangay, sangguniang barangay members, barangay treasurer, and barangay secretary who have completed their term of office, and preference in appointment to any government position to which they are qualified for the punong barangay and sangguniang barangay members after their term of office. Ito po bang binanggit namin ay natutugunan o natutupad para sa kapakanan po ng mga nasabing mga opisyalis ng barangay? Walang kumikibo, Mr. Chair, mukhang natutulog lahat.
DILG siguro pwede siguro.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, Your Honors. The DILG is monitoring the provision of these benefits to our barangay officials and employees.
Ano na pong na-monitor nyo, sir?
We will submit po the detail of the provision as to the number of
Hindi po, kamukha ng Christmas bonus, natutupad po ba ito? Lahat nabigyan?
yes, Your Honor, but
Nandito po ang presidente ng mga barangay kapitan sa buong Pilipinas.
yes, Your Honor. However, the limitation, the 55% limitation for personal services applies as a budgetary requirement. So barangays would provide such benefits in different levels, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, kanina tinanong po ninyo yung mga barangay kung alam nila yung insurance. Hindi po nila alam eh. Kaya po, kasama pala rito eh, Republic Act 6942, Madam DBM.
Sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Sen. Sen, yung RA 6942 po, naibibigay naman po sa mga barangay officials na mga namamatay. Meron po siyang 20,000 pesos para sa kapitan, sa beneficiary ng kapitan na namatay, and 2,000 pesos na burial assistance. Ang kaso lang po, when we had a meeting with GSIS, hindi po GSIS ang pinanggagalingan po nito. DILG actually is the one that's providing for this sa mga barangay officials po natin. Kapag sila po ay namatay during their duty, madodoble po ito sana. So yung mga barangay officials, nilalakad po ito sa DILG at natatanggap po nila itong 20,000, 2,000. But our only concern about RA 6942 is that this law was passed in 1990. So yung 20 mil po noon, iba na po yung peso value noon sa 20 mil ngayon, at yung 2,000 burial assistance nung 1990, iba na rin po ngayon. Yung kabaong hindi po I mean, sa 2,000 hindi ka po makakabili ng kabaong. So, alam naman po natin with the situation of the barangay officials na napakaliit po ng honorarium, malamang sa malamang wala rin po yung mga naiipon. Kapag namatay, ito lang din po ang nakukuha nila from the government, yung kanilang mga pamilya.
Tama po yun, Mr. Chair. Ang katotohanan niyan, yung RA 6942, actually, it is an act increasing the insurance benefits. Pero 1990 pa po yun, kahit pa anong increase ang ibigay mo, dapat siguro it has increased tenfolds na siguro. Kasi 2025 na ito. Tama naman po yun kung ano po yung permanent incapacity, 5,000 to 12,000 pesos. Depende po kung paano yung kalagayan ng barangay. Namomonitor nyo ba talaga? Ilan po ba yung namatay na kapitan? Halimbawa, this year, para lang makita natin kung magkano po ang binigay ninyo na disability burial benefits.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. We will have the numbers. For the information of the Chair and the committee, there's an off budget of 50 million pesos for the barangay officials death and burial assistance funding. From the last 6 years, we were able to utilize about 37 million annually po. But for the last 2 years, medyo mababa yung number of deaths. Thank you very much. And
This year, sir, ilan ang nabayaran na namatay kung may namatay ng mga barangay kapitan or barangay officials?
we will have the number, sir.
Sir, Mr. Chair, may I? Yung question niyo po regarding yung mga namatay, we have our data from 2023 to 2025. 2023, 134. 2024, 1,772. Tapos 2025, 1,161. Ang mga barangay officials and barangay officials na namatay po.
Compensated na lahat, ma'am.
Hindi ko po masasagot if compensated. I think the ILG would be best to answer that. And sir, if I may, I also brought our data of the reason why we're also lobbying for the better life and health insurance. Because every year po, ang dami pong mga attacks ng mga barangay officials po natin. We know that they're the most vulnerable sa ating political system. Kasi yung mga barangay officials naman po natin, wala naman po mga bodyguard, walang mga security. Every year po, ang dami pong pinapatay na barangay officials, ang daming attacks. In 2022, we have 83 in total. 10 lang ang nag-survive po doon, 73 died. 2023, meron tayong 76 na pinaslang na barangay officials. 2024, we have 52. And then 2025, we have 30. 8 po ang nabuhay doon. The most recent, if you saw in Davao, yung
Kapitan
habang
Dodong,
nagla-live, opo. Yun nga po.
compensated ba yun?
I'm not aware if he was.
Can we check, sir, kung yung Kapitan Dodong na-compensate at saka kung ano po ang ginawa nyo? Kasi ang pagkakapatay nun, nagbablog yata siya sa Facebook.
Nag-live stream.
Binaril.
Opo. Mr. Chair, ito po yung mga data ng mga pinapaslang, mga attacks po ng barangay officials, and this happens actually even in their own barangay hall or sa sarili nilang tahanan or pag pauwi, naglalakad mula sa barangay hall papunta sa bahay, dun po sila binabaril. So most of these mga riding in tandem kadalasan po yung kanilang pagpaslang.
Huwag mong kakalimutan yung mga barangay tanod na habang binibigay nila yung 1,500 sa asawa, ang sakit-sakit ng loob ng asawa. Nai-stress po yung mga barangay tanod eh. At magkakasakit ka sa puso talaga, no? Malaking 1,500 pesos a month. Paano mo ibubuhay yung pamilya mo, Mr. DILG? Pagtuunan natin ng pansin ito.
Actually, Mr. Chair, Sir Senator, sa mga kapitan po natin, according to our study, in Samar, ang pinakamababa pong nakita po naming sweldo, but this is 2025 data, no? Pinakamababa pong sahod ng kapitan is nasa 3,000 sa isang buwan. So, hindi rin po malayo dun sa tanod.
Tama ka dyan, ma'am. Outlier kasi yun. Kasi ang ginawa ko noon, talagang sasakit ang loob mo. Merong 39,000 pesos, 3,000, kaya kinuha ko na lamang yung range eh. Kaya meron talagang mag-a-average ng 5,000, pero ang nakita kong nasa 8,000 talaga nationwide, katapat ng tinatanggap ng kasambahay. Pero Mr. Chair, ang isang importante rito na nakita natin, sa civil service po, paano po na-operationalize itong nako-confer nyo yung eligibility based on the years of service po ng isang barangay